On this episode of the Layover Live, we're talking data visualization with Emmy award-winning Aaron Pickering. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of the Layover Live, where we bring you the top article from the Layover each week. I'm Jason Swick, VP of Digital Marketing, and I'm joined here today by Emmy award-winning Aaron Pickering. So, Aaron, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Hey, we're live on set.
We are live on set. Hey, we've got a lot more budget this year, so things are going well for the Layover. No, I'm joking. We're really here today to talk about data visualization, and the article we want to feature this week comes from Think with Google, and it really talks about how to make your team a data savvy marketing team, right? And so the best person here to talk about data visualization is you, of course. So maybe talk to DMOs and tell them how they can step up their data visualization game.
Well, DMOs are sitting on tons of data.
Right.
They've got CRM data, you've got data that's coming in from your website, all the visitors that are there. If you've got other services that you're working with, you've got data coming in from each of those services. And if you're in that data and working on a day-to-day, you probably know what's going on, especially if you're the one who's actually pulling the levers and changing the bids on your PPC campaigns and so on. But if you have to report that up the chain, maybe to your boss or your boss's boss, or even to the board, sometimes it's hard to take that information and make it as clear as possible to the people who are making the decisions. So that's really where data visualization comes in.
Good point.
It's hard to take a lot of data and turn it into information. But more importantly, we're finding, at least through this article, that more and more executives are expecting it to be really well refined before it comes to them. Right. And you know what? It's probably better for me to just show you what I'm talking about. Come with me. I'll show you. People often ask me how weather relates at all to the business that we're in. Well, let's start out with some weather, and then we're going to bring it back to digital marketing. So let's take a look at this behind me. Now, this just looks like a bunch of numbers, but in fact, this is a numerical model, and if you've ever looked at weather, you can actually start to decipher what's going on here. Now, it takes a while because you have to see this is surface, this is the upper levels, and you have to be able to read and interpret that data. Now, it gets even messier when we look at this. This is an upper air chart. Now, even though it may look simple because it's just a couple of lines going straight up, this is actually telling us a lot of information about what's happening in the atmosphere today and what's going to happen in the future. So if you were to take this same chart and put it up in front of anybody off the street, they're probably not going to be able to tell you what's going to happen tomorrow or even what I should wear. But if you have a trained person looking at this data, they can turn this same piece of information into this. And this is really what we're going for. Simplifying that information down to a 7-day forecast so you can see, is it going to be sunny? Is it going to be raining? Are we going to have clouds? What are the temperatures going to be? In Arizona in the wintertime, we're fortunately blessed with 70s, but those temperatures are really what's important. Now, if you were to look at that upper air chart or the numerical model, all that information was there, but we made it simple for the person who's actually looking at this. Now, let's look at it from a digital marketing perspective. When we look at this is what it looks like when we're talking about Google Analytics. Maybe we're comparing different campaigns in different paid situations, or maybe we're looking at just our average number of sessions. Do we want to see exactly how many sessions or how those sessions have changed over time? Well, we can do that in Google Analytics pretty easily, only if we understand what Google Analytics is and what it does for us. Now, if we're taking all of this information, we want to distill it down into a simplified form to explain to our executive team, our board members, or even the general public how we're doing. By taking this same information and turning it into this is really what's going to tell us quickly that we're seeing an upward trend in our number of sessions, and year over year, we're seeing a very marked increase in sessions without having to think about it, and that's the important part. Jason, back to you.
Wow, that explains it pretty well. Thanks, Aaron, and that's it for this week, and we'll see you next week. Submit your questions. Thanks.
It's like I'm in Star Wars. Zoom, vroom, vroom, vroom.
Grant. Wait, we're done.